So we've got some major Second Amendment drama now kicking off, and this all involves, once again, someone else within the Trump administration making a horrible statement about guns. These statements once again show why concealed carry reciprocity is so important and why this issue is now back in the national spotlight. Now, before we jump into this video, if you want to support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is simply to subscribe. Also, please click the like button on this video. That just tells the algorithm that you appreciate this type of 2A content and it will push it to more people. I also want to thank one of the main supporters of this channel, which is Attorneys on Retainer. When it comes to self-defense protection, in my opinion, AOR is in a league of their own. They're backed by an actual law firm, the Attorneys for Freedom, and they're always trying to expand upon their benefits and give you as much as possible through your coverage. And right now, they're also going to be doing a conference this month in February. So if you want to come to the conference, I'll be there and a bunch of other creators and speakers will be there. If you want to hang out with us during the conference, you can check that out using the links down below in the details section, also in the pinned comment. So if you've been following the channel for a while, you will know that President Trump made some major promises to gun owners during the last election. One thing he promised was that if the National Concealed Carry Reciprocity Bill passed in Congress, he would sign it into law. Now, those statements actually mobilized a lot of gun owners to come out and actually vote for Trump and a lot of other Republicans during the last election. Now, after the election, Congress actually quickly introduced a bill to put in place national concealed carry reciprocity. Now that bill is still active. That is HR 38, and that is the Constitutional Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act. It was passed through the House Judiciary Committee, but really since mid last year, there has not been a lot of movement on that bill. It's kind of stalled out and it's, fallen out of the national spotlight, and concealed carry reciprocity has really not been getting a lot of attention. Now, what's important for this bill is it is designed to eliminate the invisible state lines that turn law-abiding gun owners into criminals just, simply because they cross an invisible border or cross into a new state. Now, under this bill, which is proposed and is moving through Congress, if you live in a constitutional carry state, all you need is a valid state ID. If you live in maybe somewhere where they have shall issue permits, maybe like somewhere like California where you have a shall issue permit, all you would need is your home state carry permit, and you can conceal carry in any other jurisdiction. That is really all that is needed. Now, since the introduction of this bill, this topic has kind of gone quiet, like I mentioned, but recently, because of statements made by U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, concealed carry reciprocity is back in the national spotlight and discussion because of some of these, what I believe are anti-gun statements that she made on national TV. Over the weekend, Jeanine Pirro made statements about gun owners entering Washington, D.C., and this is exactly what she said. She said that you bring a gun into the district, you mark my words, you're going to jail. I don't care if you have a license in another district, you bring a gun into the district, count on going to jail, and hope you get the gun back. Now, that comment exploded immediately and, of course, got a lot of us in the Second Amendment realm very upset by, once again, another statement made by someone within the Trump administration, which seems to be anti-gun. Now, after a swift backlash, Jeanine Pirro walked back her statements the next morning, claiming that she was referring only to people unlawfully carrying firearms. Now, that doesn't seem, in my opinion, to be correct because she talks expressly about someone who has a concealed carry permit, maybe in another jurisdiction, coming into DC, and she still made statements that even if you had a permit, if you're a lawful, concealed carry holder in a different jurisdiction, you come into DC, they're still going to go after you. In my opinion, these statements rightfully deserve all of the political backlash that they're getting because not only does it threaten gun owners directly, but also because it continues to show how out of touch this administration really is right now when it comes to the Second Amendment. Just over the last few weeks, we have seen people like Kash Patel, Noam, and even Trump himself make statements that sound like they're potentially anti-gun, or at least they're pushing these weird statements that sound like anti-gun rhetoric. Now, of course, in response to this, you've had statements from multiple lawmakers immediately pushing back against those statements. You had people like Congressman Greg Steube, who has, said that he carries a firearm in DC every week, and he added, "Come and take it." You had Congressman Thomas Massie point out that non-residents can lawfully obtain DC carry permits, and he also asked, why is a conservative judge threatening to arrest gun owners? And then you had Congressman Chip Roy say that it's not how the law works and the Attorney General Pam Bondi needs to step in and correct this immediately. And this all shows that the statements by Pirro actually struck a major nerve because it highlights the exact problem that this bill, the Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act, is trying to solve. Essentially, her statements boil down to this: I don't care if you have a license somewhere else. If you come into this area, if you come into DC, we will still go after you, even though you have a valid permit somewhere else. That is the legal chaos that the Concealed Carry Reciprocity Bill is designed to eliminate. So really, here is the big picture with all of this that's going on. So you have a national Concealed Carry Reciprocity Bill that was promised, that is currently moving forward in Congress. It was introduced, made it through the Judiciary Committee, but really has stalled out since then. But again, this was a promise by the Trump administration to gun owners. And then you have a major public controversy made by someone within the administration making statements against concealed carry reciprocity. And it shows, how confusing and hostile concealed carry laws can really be to gun owners. And these statements have really created huge divides where you have the Second Amendment community hearing statements from the administration which go against our core beliefs. We already have people on the opposing side, like anti-gun lawmakers, who have already claimed that if this bill were to pass, it would create the Wild West and put police at risk. But federal law already bars prohibited people from carrying concealed weapons anyways. But this bill is about protecting lawful gun owners from becoming criminals just because they cross a state line or some sort of invisible border. And unfortunately, these are the types of absurd statements from our own side where they are feeding into these anti-gun claims and statements and their position why this type of bill should not pass. I have no doubt that now, because of these statements, the Concealed Carry Reciprocity Bill will gain some more attention and hopefully more traction to get it passed. And personally, I think if the administration and people within it keep making these type of absurd statements or pushing these kind of pseudo anti-gun talking points, they will continue to lose gun owners during the next election and they will lose their votes. That is something that they are currently facing, but for whatever reason, they keep making these dumb statements. So that's where things currently stand right now in this developing concealed carry reciprocity, controversy and drama because of these statements. Congress is pushing forward with HR 38 that has been introduced. It's stalled out for a while. I have no doubt that now it's going to be in discussion once again and potentially get a huge push. You have people who are pushing back against Jeanine Pirro and her dumb comments about concealed carry reciprocity. And now the country is once again debating whether state lines should control your constitutional rights, or if because you have a permit or you can lawfully carry somewhere else, that should apply everywhere else in the nation. So that's what's currently happening. As we get more information, as this unravels more, I will let you guys know. If you like this video and you'd like to support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is simply to like, comment, and subscribe. All of those things help to fuel the algorithm. But as always, thank you so much for all of your support. And never forget, this nation was built by armed scholars, and this nation will be maintained by armed scholars.